Here are the top stories for today, April 7, 2022. The government maintains it has concrete plans to spur economic recovery amid the coronavirus pandemic, as more than half of Filipinos are hopeful of a better economy in the next 12 months. Affected sectors get some breathing space as the grant of fuel subsidy has been exempted from the poll spending ban. It is expected to help them cushion the impact of rising consumer prices. Travel rules ease further. Antigen tests administered by healthcare professionals can now be used by travelers in entering the country. And a new appearance for the country's biggest currency value. We take a look at the features of the new 1,000 bill made of polymer. Good day, I am Stephanie Sevillano. Welcome to PNA Newsroom. Malacanang says the Duterte administration has laid out concrete measures to ensure the recovery of the economy amid the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic. This comes as a recent social weather station survey showed 51% of adult Filipinos were optimistic that the economy will improve in the next 12 months. Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Communications Secretary Martin Andanar said the survey proves that the government's policy on economic recovery is gaining ground. Andanar said the adoption of the 10-point policy agenda from President Rodrigo Duterte's Executive Order 166 would help spur economic growth. He added that Duterte ordered the adoption of a whole government approach to align all economic recovery programs and measures of the national government. The same survey also showed some 30% were convinced that the economy will remain the same, while only 7% believed it will worsen. The poll results yielded a net economic optimism of excellent plus 44, the highest since the excellent plus 44 in September 2016. Malacanang maintained Thursday that there is nothing irregular in the government's spending. Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Communications Secretary Martin Andanar echoed President Rodrigo Duterte's statement that public funds are being utilized properly. Andanar shrugs off Senator Panfilo Lacsan's remarks that it's shameful to know that the next administration would carry the burden of paying the country's trillions of pesos in debt. Andanar added that Duterte had already explained that there is a need for government borrowing to finance the administration's programs and projects. The Bureau of Treasury said the country's outstanding debt grew to 12.09 trillion pesos as of end of February. This was 63.83 billion higher than the 12 billion pesos registered as end of January. On March 31, Duterte said it is not bad to borrow as long as the money is not used for corrupt practices. The government's fuel subsidy distribution as well as the COVID-19 vaccination drive will continue amid the election period. Meanwhile, overseas voting may be put on hold in some countries. The details from Barita Wahe.
The distribution of the fuel subsidy for drivers and operators of public utility vehicles continues after the Commission on Elections or COMELEC has exempted the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB from the elections ban. COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia said it will issue a resolution that contains the conditions on how to properly implement the disbursement of funds. Meanwhile, the National Task Force Against COVID-19 and the Department of Health also seek exemption from the COMELEC to continue the government's vaccination efforts and other vaccination-related activities. Presidential Advisor for COVID-19 Response Secretary Vince Dizon said the National Task Force and health authorities are exerting all efforts to increase the country's vaccination coverage nationwide.
At dahil po sa efforts ni Secretary Duque at ni Secretary Galvez, nag-issue na po ng exemption ang COMELEC para sa lahat po ng vaccination and other vaccination-related activities. So pwede pong tuloy-tuloy ang bakuna kahit na po nagsimula na ang local campaign sa ating mga probinsya, sa ating pong mga cities and municipalities. Very important po yon, Mayor, para po kahit na nangangampanya ang ating mga opisyales, hindi po dapat huminto ang pagbabakuna.
And as for overseas voting, COMELEC Commissioner Marlon Casquejo said the voting in Islamabad and Warsaw will likely be suspended because of the mandatory repatriation. The COMELEC may also hold the casting of ballots in Baghdad, Tripoli, Chad, Tunisia, and Libya for not having overseas voting capabilities. Voting will also be temporarily suspended in Shanghai, China, after the imposition of a lockdown due to the increase in COVID-19 cases. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Marita Muahe.
Teachers who will serve as poll workers in the May 9 national and local elections can expect higher honoraria and additional allowances. The Department of Education says the honoraria of the board chairman and board members will be higher by 1,000 pesos than what they received in 2019 midterm elections. Meanwhile, support staff will receive 3,000 pesos. Teachers will also receive various allowances, including 2,000 peso transportation allowance, 1,500 peso for communication stipend, 500 peso anti-COVID-19 allowance, and medical and accident insurances. The Philippine Air Force got a boost on its attack and tactical transport capabilities with its 2 new attack helicopters and C-295 plane. The first 2 T-129 attack helicopters out of 6 units ordered were delivered to the Philippine Air Force last March 9 aboard to a 400M transport of the Turkish Air Force. Present during the turnover ceremony held at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City were Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, AFP Vice Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Erickson Gloria and George Moraga Sanchez, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain, and Dr. Ismael Demir, Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey. AFP spokesperson Colonel Maynard Mariano said the arrival of the 2 brand new Turkish-made T-129 attack helicopters and an Airbus Defense and Space C-295 medium-lift aircraft will not just beef up their capabilities but will also carry the hopes and aspirations of what they want as an Air Force to become a more agile and dependable organization. Lorenzana signed the contract for the acquisition of the Turkish attack helicopters in July 2020. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard's second 97-meter multi-role response vessel, or MRRV, has completed its first sea trial off Shimonoseki in Yokohama, Japan. It says the sea trial was performed by the vessel manufacturer Mitsubishi Shipbuilding Corporation. The vessel is scheduled to leave Japan for the Philippines by next month. Still ahead, it's the start of something new for the latest beneficiaries of the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa program. We're back after a quick break. Keep it here on the PNA Newsroom.
Mga kababayan, unti-unti nang nanunumbalik ang sigla ng ating ekonomiya habang umaarangkada ang COVID-19 vaccination program ng gobyerno. At sa patuloy na pagluwag ng community quarantine restrictions, marami na ang nakakapasok sa trabaho at nakalalabas ng kanilang mga tahanan. Sa inyo pong pagbisita sa mga pampubliko at pribadong establishmento, laging hanapin ang safety seal sticker sa inyong papasukan. Mapamall man, kainan, o anumang pasyalan, mahalagang masiguro ang ating kaligtasan. Ang safety seal ay tanda na ang isang gusali ay sumusunod sa minimum public health standards na itinakda ng pamahalaan upang maiwasan ang pagkalat ng COVID-19. Lagi nating tatandaan, bida ang may tatak. Nakasisiguro ka kapag may safety seal para manatiling ligtas ang iyong pamilya at ang buong bansa. Maraming salamat. Patuloy po tayong mag-ingat.
A total of 5 families consisting of 18 individuals holds on to their dream of a fresh start in life as they go back to their home provinces in Catanduanes and Sorsogon through the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa program. The BP2 program was created through the Executive Order No. 114 signed by President Rodrigo Duterte and aims to address overcrowding in Metro Manila's urban areas and assist informal settlers to return to their home provinces for a fresh start. On Thursday, 18 individuals depart Manila with their baggage of experiences and learnings from living and trying to survive the urban jungle of Metro Manila. Senator Bongo, in his video message, wished the beneficiaries good luck as they embark on a new chapter in their life. Go said that the successful BP2 dispatch and the entire BP2 program forms part of the national government strategy to encourage countryside development and provide hope for a better future. For the month of March, the BP2 program was able to send back to their respective provinces a total of 154 individuals. Among the provinces that welcomed back the residents include Zambales, Albay, Camarines Norte, Naga City, Camarines Sur, Masbate, Northern Samar, Cotabato, General Santos City, Sarangani, South Cotabato, and Sultan Kudarat. The BP2, in their Facebook page, wished these beneficiaries well, adding that successful beneficiaries will receive various forms of assistance from different government agencies. Travelers can now enter the country just by presenting an antigen test. Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Communications Secretary Martin Andanar said the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF, has approved its use provided it is administered and certified by a healthcare professional from the country of origin of the traveler. The IATF also approved the acceptance and recognition of the national COVID-19 vaccination certificates of Bangladesh, Mexico, Panama, and Slovak Republic for purposes of arrival quarantine protocols as well as for interzonal and intra-zonal movement. With the looming threat of COVID-19 surge due to emerging variants, more national and local officials are on top of their COVID-19 inoculation drive to achieve the government's target vaccination rates. The details from Wilnard Basilonia.
The World Health Organization and the Department of Health have raised alarm over the possible surge of COVID-19 cases in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM. To date, the region has the lowest vaccination output with only 25% fully vaccinated individuals out of its target population. National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Carlito Galvez Jr. said the government is pushing a strategic focus towards vaccinating the majority of residents in the region. In Negros Occidental, only 12 out of 31 cities and municipalities in the province have reached the 70% COVID-19 vaccination coverage rate. Among the 12, 5 local government units have already eased to Alert Level 1. Governor Eugenio Jose Lacson urged the local government units who are left behind to shape up so they can also ease the lowest alert level classification. As of April 5, Negros Occidental has fully vaccinated over 63% of the target 18 to 59 years old vaccinees, while fully vaccinated senior citizens are only at 48%. Lacson reminded the barangay officials of their obligation to improve the COVID-19 vaccination coverage in the respective localities. And in Cagayan de Oro City, the local city health office is expediting the use of COVID-19 vaccine supplies as a certain number of these items will expire next month. With its continuous COVID-19 inoculations in mega sites as well as barangay health centers, the local government assures that no vaccines would go to waste. With its continuous COVID-19 inoculations in mega sites as well as in barangay health centers, bus terminals, and drive-through stations, the City Health Office is also reaching out to more residents by conducting house-to-house vaccinations. So far, the city posted a 91% rate among their fully vaccinated individuals, of which 22% have received their booster shots. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Wilnard Basilonia.
President Rodrigo Duterte led the presentation of the new 1,000 peso polymer banknote in a ceremonial program in Malacanang Palace. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Benjamin Jokno presented to Duterte a framed version of the uncut polymer banknotes. The banknotes contain features that strengthen efforts against counterfeiting, safety measures against COVID-19, and environmental sustainability. They also last up to 5 times longer than paper banknotes due to their resistance to water, oil, dirt, and general wear and tear. The BSP will release the new banknote in phases starting this month. Last year, the design of the new banknotes was criticized for removing the portraits of World War II heroes Vicente Lim, Jose Falianes Escoda, and Jose Abad Santos. The BSP, however, said the new polymer banknote and the current 1,000 peso paper banknote will coexist and can both use for payments and transactions. In our business news, all seaports in Cebu province will be on heightened alert to prepare for the exodus of travelers from other provinces during the Holy Week. The Cebu Port Authority has activated Oplan Biyaheng Ayos Semana Santa and Summer Vacation 2022 as they expect an influx of passengers this Lenten season following its COVID-19 restrictions. The CPA will establish malasakit help desks and first aid stations in passenger terminals to attend to various concerns. Physical distancing, mask wearing, and other health protocols will be strictly enforced, especially in common areas. Only passengers with both tickets and valid ID cards will be allowed entry into the port at least 2 hours from the scheduled departure time. Meanwhile, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency agents will conduct random inspections and canine sweeping to sniff out drug couriers. Philippine Coast Guard will also deploy bomb-sniffing dogs to prevent possible terror attacks. More stories from the newsroom. Heads up! Students, show your writing prowess and help stop climate change through this letter writing contest. And the community pantry spirit is alive in Baguio City as a group gives free medicines to the needy. Details ahead, stay with the PNA Newsroom.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed our lives for the worse. Lives and jobs were lost and economies reached a meltdown. Thanks to the arrival of safe and effective vaccines, we are one step closer to normalcy. It's time to do our part, get vaccinated for our safety and for our recovery.
You are there in that community, go there and have yourself vaccinated by any of the vaccines available. They are all potent, they are all effective.
I would like to appeal to all our kababayans, please get vaccinated against COVID-19 and be the government partner in preventing further spread of the disease. I encourage you to get vaccinated as soon as possible time. These vaccines are safe and they are the key to reopening our society. The need for international solidarity and cooperation cannot be made clearer than this pandemic because everyone is safe. No one is safe globally until everybody is safe.
Vaccines work.
The Philippine Post Office and the Universal Postal Union or UPU invite students and youth aged 9 to 15 to join its 51st International Letter Writing Competition for young people. The contest aims to strengthen literacy and promote friendship through the art of letter writing. Participants will write a letter to an influential person about why and how to take action on climate change. Entries to the competition must be written in English and should be handwritten with no erasures. Submissions should not exceed 800 words. Entries should be placed in a brown envelope and be submitted strictly through a specified mailing address. Submissions will be accepted until April 25 and the final winner will be determined by May 2, 2022. Interested participants may contact PhilPost or visit the official website, Facebook pages, or Twitter account. Government troops clashed with 7 suspected members of the New People's Army on Wednesday in Barangay Nagbinlod, Santa Catalina in Negros Oriental. The soldiers of the Philippine Army's 11th Infantry Battalion investigated the area following reports from locals about the presence of armed men. A firefight ensued about 20 minutes. The troops recovered a .38 caliber pistol, personal belongings, assorted medical and food supplies, a radio, and submersive documents. The rebels are believed to be remnants of the NPA's Southeast Front, which the Philippine Army said had been dismantled last year. They are suspected to engage in election-related extortion, such as collecting permit to campaign and permit to win fees. Lieutenant Colonel Roderick Salayo, Battalion Commanding Officer, said the tip-off from residents was an indication that civilians in Santa Catalina are no longer supporting the NPA. The community pantry spirit is making a comeback in Baguio City as a medical facility opens its doors to people with neurological and mental health problems. The facility, operated by Choose Life Pharmacy and Clinic, is the mental health clinic in charge at the Baguio City Health Services Office. The pharmacy offers medicines that have been donated and are listed on the advocacy group's social media page. Choose Life founder Ricky Duca said people can get any amount of medicines provided they shell out a 10 peso storage fee. The clinic opened in 2021 to serve those suffering from mental health issues and offer cheaper medicines. Baguio City recorded around 30 suicide cases each in 2020 and 2021. The local government of Iligan City is looking forward to welcome the public to the city's amphitheater after months of renovation due to disrepair and old age. More on this from Arafia Kiram.
Despite the rainy and cold weather, the newly renovated Anahaw Amphitheater in Iligan City has been opened. The said open amphitheater can hold up to 7,000 people in a single event, which is possibly the largest open amphitheater in Mindanao. Vice Mayor Damar Monsevero Cruz said that the amphitheater was already time-worn, showing signs of hazards. Hence, the renovation of the amphitheater was mainly for the safety of all citizens, especially local government employees.
It started with the concept that safety first. So in all infrastructures of the government, kinahanglan safety first is the first consideration. So nakita nato nga ang amphitheater has become very unsafe for our people, especially for visitors during big events.
Meanwhile, Councilor Noli Pardillo, who is the chairperson of the Committee on Finance, said that there were many reasons why the construction was delayed. These include the debate on whether the amphitheater is a cultural heritage that should be preserved, which was confirmed to be false after being consulted with the Cultural Heritage Commission. Several suspension orders due to COVID-19 pandemic and bad weather also hindered the complete development of the infrastructure.
Dito sa Cultural Heritage Commission, amo gisusi continued ba dili ni sa Cultural Heritage. So karon naklipay ta nga karon ani gyud, no? Hinuon dunay mga suspension. Suspension number 1, suspension number 2, tungod kay di magit malikayan labi na panahon sa pandemya ug amo tingala kung nikusog mo kay ulan kay di man ni matrabaho kay manual man ang trabaho di pwede trabaho ang kumag-ulan o kusog.
The renovation of the amphitheater is funded by the Department of Budget and Management through local government support fund assistance to the cities in the fiscal year 2019 General Appropriation Act. For the PNA Newsroom, Arafia Kiram of PIA Iligan City and Lanao del Norte.
Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The government maintains it has concrete plans to spur economic recovery amid the coronavirus pandemic, as more than half of Filipinos are hopeful of a better economy in the next 12 months. Affected sectors get some breathing space as the grant of fuel subsidy has been exempted from the poll spending ban. It is expected to help them cushion the impact of rising consumer prices. Travel rules ease further. Antigen tests administered by healthcare professionals can now be used by travelers in entering the country. And a new appearance for the country's biggest currency value. We take a look at the features of the new 1,000 bill made of polymer. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear face masks, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We're also shown at the pages of PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am Stephanie Sevillano. Good day.